This meeting shall come to order. Conservation Commission meeting. Thank you for joining us. I want to offer a change to the agenda to begin with. I want to abdicate the throne. I'd like somebody else to be the chairman of this commission in the future, because I'm not keeping up with the agenda and things like that, and that's a disservice to this Conservation Commission. So I prefer if maybe some of the new blood decides to be the chairman.
William?
No, I nominate you. I nominate you.
No, I know.
Actually, I was going to say, because it's the start of the fiscal year, this is when officers are selected anyways.
Okay.
Well, I nominate Leslie.
I second that nomination. All those in favor?
Wait,
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do in that position.
Well, basically, right now, it's basically just put together the agenda for the week. And it's kind of like help steer what you think the priorities should be of the meetings. And if you look back at the past, again, our mission statement, basically, all we're doing right nowadays, because we're such a small group, is trying to keep up with the recreation areas in the town, again, the problem areas that we might have, and try to get some excitement going in the town about our recreation areas. So that's really, we're not trying to do anything massive or, major at this point in time. I think the Earth Days, the Blueberry promotion, some of those things are great. And finishing the trails, some of these areas, or maintaining the trails at some of these areas is our focus. We really don't have enough people to be doing much else right now. And I know the select board wants Will to talk about the pocket parks at some time in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So there's some select board members that I personally know have an interest in seeing that go forward. Something go forward with that. So
That's kind of my.
Pretty much the responsibility as the chair of what you're doing right now.
yeah, it is.
And whenever I think it's not a safe thing to hold a meeting, I just call you to make an executive decision.
Okay. All right, as long as you're gonna.
You call the meeting to
and we'll be
order
here.
and say we're done.
Yep, and we'll be
I
here.
want to sit over there, like sitting over here.
Well, you can sit over there and run.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you sit.
Okay.
You can just run the meeting, and it's pretty straightforward. We'll give you advice anytime you want.
Okay.
Probably times when you
You don't want.
Yeah. I'm good at that. I'm really good.
So, and I think this meeting, we kind of were thinking about focusing on the town forest and the woolly adelgid problem, and
Yeah.
see if you have found out more and if you have advice for us.
Yeah. I was kind of telling Max before you guys got here, I've been playing phone tag with Colleen Tierling from the state. But it's good. I mean, we leave each other good voicemails. It's just hard because she works 9 to 5. I work 9 to 5. It's not easy to catch her. But through our voicemail contact, she has put in the application for the beetle insectary at the town forest with the state. She says it's competitive to get accepted. A lot of people have applied for it, but if we get accepted, it's free. So it doesn't hurt to have her try for us.
Is she going to use some of the write-up that Janet McMahon did about the forest, about the ancient hemlock grove?
I can share it over. She doesn't have it, or her email is so behind. She's like, I've got hundreds and hundreds of emails. She doesn't. I've got to leave these stuff on the voicemail for her. So I can remind her about that if she wants any verbiage about the importance of it in the history.
Yeah, you could email it to her and then let her know that you did, and
Or send her a hard copy.
and what you. Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know
a hard
what
copy.
what the
I don't know.
address is. She's a
Oh.
infamous lady to get. She's a difficult lady to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But when I do get a hold of her, she's fantastic. She's just a wealth of knowledge. And then for the pesticide, the arborist that I thought was going to work out wrote me and said that they haven't treated the woolly adelgid and gotten into that level of pesticide, so they're just not comfortable doing it. So with Max's help, I think that would be great, Max. He offered to reach out to see what you could find.
Yeah. Who else might be available to do that?
That would be so wonderful.
That would be helpful.
And we can't treat it. I mean, we've got time because we can't treat them till I think the fall is what Colleen said anyway. So we still have a little time to find somebody. But I don't have the information for this meeting that I was hoping to have about the arborists and proposals and pricing. So But good news is our application is in for the insectary, so something's moving forward.
Now that application's already done, it's already in?
Yeah, she said she handles that all directly, so she just needed a yes or no from us at the last meeting. We voted yes. She said, okay, I'll put all the information in.
Is there a deadline on when she gets that to?
She the last voicemail she left me, she said she'd done it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's all done. She had scoped out a spot. There was like a group of young hemlocks that she said would be the best spot to have it, and so that's what she was going to focus on for the application.
I'm glad she knows so much about it. It's so helpful.
I know, it was really interesting. I'm like, I just wish I could meet her in person. You know, it'd be great, but sounds like she's a busy lady right now. So that's what I have about the town forest. I was driving into work this morning thinking I'd still like to get some pieces of wood burnt with arrows to get up and make clear the path where people think there's multiple paths there. So that's something I need to put on my to-do list, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to move on to the Quarry Hill. That's all right. Mm-hmm. Quarry Hill, the berry baskets, I ordered them. I ordered 40 of them. They'll be here. They're supposed to be delivered tomorrow. And then you saw on Facebook, nobody really got excited about the recipe share thing. So I'm just gonna.
We got a few though.
Yeah, I thought I'll look through them, but I felt like people just kind of Googled and was like blueberry recipe. Yeah. And I wanted more like traditional family recipes is what I was kind of hoping for, but it's okay because
one of those things that I wish Margaret was on Facebook.
Yeah, it would have been neat. So
she uses blueberries and everything.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I don't know, might just ask around word of mouth. I'm going to give it a couple more days because I'd really like to get them printed up and cut and at least down here for when we post. So, and I don't, blueberries, Beth has got blueberries right now. So
They're starting
somebody's got to go up there. We're going to
They're
make
pretty ready.
Yeah, so
I've been
we
up
could
there
probably,
a few times, so.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was wondering, which I just is, and I don't have time because I'm on a 2-week stretch right now with work, but there's no signage. I was thinking when you go up there, or is there, does it say picking only? No raking?
I think there's something like that.
I just want to make sure that if we tell people to go up there, they're not going on to the private property to pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not have time to make signs, but I would think it would be nice to have signs up there.
I'm sure we could do
I
that.
don't think any of the blueberries are on private property.
Yeah, it's all town-owned property, but the blueberries aren't.
Okay.
I think there's one small section, the driveway to the left,
Okay.
and they have a little patch on the other side of a stone wall, so it might not hurt just to put a sign up saying just these 2 areas here.
Or you could put caution tape right around their little spot,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. I have lots of caution tape.
See how long it lasts.
Yeah, I know, with the poison ivy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bummer.
What happened to it?
Somebody ripped all the caution tape down and uprooted the sign and threw it over the fence into the middle of the poison ivy and almost made it to the water. So
Why do people do these things?
they're childish. They're just immature, that's it. You know,
They felt offended that somebody would put a sign up.
it's like, well, my concern is that, we had the caution tape and the sign up for, 3 weeks. And, people were aware that there was poison ivy there, but now suddenly it's gone. And I'm already seeing people sitting at the picnic tables right next to the poison ivy.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for a family to come in there and
Well, nobody,
think, well, the poison ivy must have been removed, and their kid walks along the fence, comes down with it, and
a lot of people don't know what it looks like either.
yeah.
And there's people coming from away, a lot of people coming from away now,
Yeah.
so.
I was worried about that up on the blueberry field. If I don't know if there is any up there or not, but we don't have that flagged off either.
Yeah, well, there's from one of the trees down here to almost to the piles of mulch and stuff. There's poison ivy all along the mowed edge there too. That was a problem during when we had the
Farmer's market.
farmer's market up there.
So for the blueberry baskets, if they do arrive on time tomorrow, I'll get it all readied up and bring it down early next week, Max. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll post on social media just about it and the town office hours that they can pick one up.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve.
Mhm.
And then tag us in your blueberry recipes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
your,
And maybe
what you
that's
make.
the time when the recipes will come in. Once they have the blueberries, people will be saying, oh, this is what I made, and this is what I made.
We
It's
can,
like, share what you made with the
Yeah.
blueberries.
I would love to see just like a picture of somebody picking them with their kids up there. Like, just give me something for social media. Encouragement.
I'll see what I can do. Once you've posted it up there, maybe I can find out if, I'll see if a friend with their grandkids or something are planning a trip up there and go up and
Yeah,
get some pictures.
that would be
or
nice.
something.
Yeah, all word of mouth that you can do to encourage people to come pick up a basket. And if once you see the post up, if you guys could just help share it across the Facebook groups, that would be great. And I think that's all I've got this week. I read the minutes. I don't think I'm supposed to do anything else right
No,
now.
I think that covers it pretty much.
I'm gonna be a picky person and go back to the officers bit.
I knew you.
Yep.
I was trying to.
We gotta finish that because there was a motion on the table.
Yeah, there was the motion, and then I don't know if Steve wants to continue being the vice chair.
Sure. I'm a vice kind of guy.
And you're still the secretary. We don't really
You
need
never
a,
have an official secretary, I just
No.
have to do the minutes.
and we have no need for a treasurer, really.
Yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
We'll need to hire an accounting firm to take care of our expenses.
All two
All the cost
receipts a year. So shall we follow through on that?
Yeah, there was the motion by Will and Karen to nominate Leslie for chair.
I second.
Well,
I second it.
Oh, a second, okay,
Sorry.
so, all right. I'm
So all
voting.
those in
I'm
favor?
voting in favor.
You're it. We'll help you all.
Against it?
Opposed? No, I'm fine. Yes,
It's-
I vote for it.
Good.
Not really gonna be much more than you're doing now, if
Really?
anything,
And your agenda doesn't have to be in the formal, I got that old agenda thing from Scott Bird,
Yeah.
who was extremely formal about that. You can have item 1, 2, 3, and whatever. It doesn't have to be the format that I was using.
You have such a plethora of knowledge of.
I'll be here to
Everything.
help out. I'll be here to share the history and guide you. But right now you have way more energy and way more interest. And I'm like, I'd rather be home doing some gardening. I'd rather be home. My volunteer years are petering. I'm fading away.
All right.
After-
Well,
You've been volunteering for what?
I was a full-time
30.
volunteer for well over 16 years, and running Waldoboro Day for 5
oh,
years.
wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
I'm done. I'm not going to save the world anymore. It's yours now.
You're on your own, kids.
But I'll be here to support you and to share any history if things have been done before, or a contact with the Mid-Coast, steward committee,
Yeah.
trail work, that kind of thing I can help with.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, that would be great. We need a lot of guidance on all of that.
I can help with that.
So,
So I guess we talked about the town forest, and we talked about the blueberries. Now we talked about the rest area with the problematic situation there.
yeah.
Is anyone going to go back out? Do you know if you're going to go put the caution tape back up and the sign back up, or
The rest area?
Yeah,
Rest area or?
the rest area? Don't know. I can go put
Oh, I don't know
caution
who the
tape.
question was for.
Well, I
Anyone?
wondered if you would know, because you know John Daigle and those.
We could do it again.
I would say do it again, just because now you've got people that aren't familiar with the area traveling in here and stopping
Yeah.
by. And so people that might have seen it before, you've got new people coming through that might be using the rest area.
Yep.
And I'd hate to see
I'd
that.
say it's worth a couple of minutes just to,
And see how long it lasts. I mean, I'd say give it 3 tries before you give up.
Yep.
yeah. Well, I was surprised. I mean, I'm over there almost every day, or have been, working on that new perennial bed. And there's more to do over there with some other things. So I'll be around over there, but it's just, I'm not going to be I'm not gonna be sitting there watching for people tearing down the caution
The
tape
person
12
who
hours a
got
day.
poison ivy tearing the caution
I
tape,
would not be surprised.
the oil.
That would be
We're crazy.
what we call karma.
That would be karma, yes,
Yes.
that would be.
And then hopefully this fall we can just try to eradicate some of it if we can, rip it up.
Right.
And,
Yeah, that would be great. That would be more ideal.
Yeah, if somebody's got like a tractor with a little backhoe, like one of those Kubota 1800 series with the front end loader and the little backhoe that's like this wide, just reach over the fence and rip it up and put it in the back of a truck. And
Take it somewhere.
Yep.
Well, I don't have one, so
I don't either. All I've got is
Yeah,
friends.
if I hit
Not a good idea.
If I hit the lottery, my first stop is the Kubota dealer. For one of those.
Yeah.
Somebody else might go to the, Lamborghini dealer. No. I'm going to Kubota.
Well, I can ask a few people, see. No promises, but.
Yeah, but if we could just tape it up again, that would be good.
Yep.
So pocket parks.
Pocket parks is something that I've talked to a few people, and they've heard about them and they're excited about them. And the little brochure I gave to a couple friends, and they said, "What is this? What is this?" And so I think the Village River Park. That's kind of exciting that they have the yoga there or whatever. That was nice. But I think people to connect. Some friends of mine came out from Connecticut, and I told them where Elm Street was, and told them that was fish ladder, a natural fish ladder. They were thrilled to see it because it's a place where there weren't crowds, there weren't lots of people. It's a very interesting natural formation there, and it's hidden away little gems, and I think people find that exciting to find these cute little places that are not overwhelmed with other people and kind of behind the streets but it's easy to park, it's easy to get there, it's not a rough walk.
Yeah.
I think those are kind of
that if there's a push by the select board, maybe we should try to figure out a way to clean up that corner of Elm and Jefferson.
I'd love to get a weed whacker or something there, bush hog or whatever it needs.
Yeah, probably a sawzall on a chainsaw too. I mean,
It's overgrown.
It's really far gone. Yeah, I mean, there's a wild multiflora white rose, the invasive thing that's growing up one side of the building, and that's going to be, somebody with a larger truck than me, like hack it off at the base and then
Take it away.
dig down and hack the roots, or with a sawzall or something. And there's undoubtedly some other stuff in there that needs
Because
to
when
go.
it's clear, there's a beautiful view from there.
Oh, yeah.
to up the waterfalls from
Yeah,
there.
and most of it is most of what's blocking the view is cuttable. I mean, it's not, it's not large enough in diameter to be covered under regulations. So it's just a matter of getting in there and doing stuff.
So you are allowed to cut that stuff?
Yeah.
legally?
Yeah, because it's not anything under 4 inches diameter trunk.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not putting it, you're still leaving a riparian buffer. You're still leaving the brush that's right on the edge of the water.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything to
But
the
that's
land.
elevated above the water, so you can take it down, take a lot of stuff down and
And
just,
still see the water.
like for instance, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, what I'm thinking is basically take the sides off the shack, the structure, and then leave the frame and the roof. And from the slab in there, if you put a picnic table in there, if everything's cut down that you can cut legally, you have a beautiful view of the river going both, coming this way and going that way.
Isn't there some concern that shack is not in good shape anymore? Or
We
the
don't
shed?
know. It's been a long time since-
We won't know until we start taking the sides off, but, the roof, the shingles definitely need replaced on the roof, but the structure itself, maybe, it may well be sound. I mean, you just don't, that's the kind of thing you don't know until you get into it. But we should at least make the attempt, but
And even,
that's gonna take more of a crew than the garden club has,
but regardless of even touching the building, just to get a clear spot,
Yeah,
to even put a bench there, be able to see would be nice.
Yep.
Would be a good start to clear that.
yep.
But if you could revive the interest there, by I know Jan Minzy asked me if someone could talk about it to the select board. And she said that John Daigle did speak about the pocket parks a number of years ago.
Yeah, he and I have discussed it a couple of times. I mean, we're actually, Garden Club is, well, me.
Yep.
I've been working on the one over the West Main parking lot, and that's starting to look pretty good. I mean, both the gardens at the top by the dentist's office and the one by the driveway are finally in good shape, and you know, I'm kind of working on a plan to extend the one that's by the driveway up the street towards the dentist's office, you know, a little bit.
And that's a nice little walking tour because you could go from the rest area to, you know, on Mill Street, Elm Street, and then to the river park, and then even to the bridge.
And
if you didn't want to do the hill, you could go back.
Well, I've seen people actually park at the West Main parking lot and then walk from there around various places, and then actually walk all the way down to the landing, even though they could have parked there.
So I think we really would love to attract people to the downtown village. There's not a lot of businesses there now. When the Art Walk was big, we at least it inspired foot traffic, which was nice. But I don't know, we just want people to really enjoy the downtown and the waterfalls. I've known people who said they had no idea that there was such a thing as Madomic Falls.
Yeah, the original name of the town, I think, actually. Or at least the area was called Madomic Falls.
Yeah, it's tough to it, like you're saying, because there's just not a lot of downtown businesses right now to attract it. Like, you know, we're competing with Demerascata and Rockland, essentially. We're like the drive-through town, you know, or you're going to stop for Moody's Pie or something.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is that, you know, you look at, I mean, obviously Rockland has been established for a long time, but you look at Demerascata and they have a Route 1 bypass and then the business route, but their Route 1 bypass doesn't have any consumer services on it. You know, there's no gas stations, there's no grocery stores up there. It's just people that want to go, just it's a straight shot through. There's no stops. But if they want something, they have to go into the downtown area. Here, it's completely different, you know, and we don't, with all of the stuff that's on Route 1, which is actually the bypass, you know, there's no reason for people to go down there unless we give them one. And
you'd have to put a sign up that's like scenic.
Well, there were some signs that said historic, and I think in a lot of ways we want to attract the local people. We want to attract the people that live around here. And whether people drive through that are going somewhere else touristy, that's fine. I think our focus as the Waldeboro Conservation Commission should be to make sure that people in Waldeboro know these places exist. Because they are hidden gems, and if you never hear of them or know how to get to them, you'll go past them all the time.
Yeah, the grassy area at West Main, the parking lot there,
people are clueless.
A couple of boulders to sit on and bingo, it's a park, you know, but that's something, I don't do boulders. That's a Daigle job.
I can do another brochure post on Facebook of the brochure you did of the pocket parks, and I was drumming up on our cleanup day. Remember I started drumming up I was just thinking of it. We were talking about this is we were talking about the locals, but for the tourism, like if you have, I think I do a lot of road trips with my husband, and I think we always stop for like 15 minutes. Like, okay, we got 15 minutes, we're going to get some food, and so I wanted to do this, like, you know, for your 15 minutes or your 15-minute rest stop, here's what you can do in Waldeboro. And it was like, grab Moody's Pie to go and eat it at the town landing. Like I was going to try to connect the properties with things you can do. Or the flatbread pizza at Odd Alewives. Like there are some other things.
That can be
because
connected.
Those, I would say, like those are two of the popular places that people stop at. And how do we connect it? Like grab a flatbread and head to the Village River Park, or because they've got seating there. And
well, one of the things that I've had in mind for 4 years. All right, I'll admit it. It's complete fantasy because it's probably never going to happen in my lifetime. But one of the reasons that we started with, you know, this phase of the garden club's existence improving and making things prettier was one of the reasons that we started with the traffic islands, is because everybody passes those and they see them. And it's always been my fantasy to, on both of them, put up some sort of a low but long, nice wooden sign that says Waldoboro Village with an arrow pointing down that way. And there's another traffic island that's paved, sort of, up by the park and ride by the entrance to the town forest. That'd be another place you could put up a sign saying Waldoboro Village down this way. Just prettying all of that stuff up and prettying up the village. You know, it's kind of an advertising thing. I mean, it's not, for me, it's not just about the aesthetics, you know, of a garden. It's about grabbing people's eyeballs and focusing them in a particular direction for the benefit of our local economy.
And there are limitations to signage, and the Department of Transportation is in charge of that.
Yeah.
And they make it pretty clear. We did have, and I think through Jeff Hurd's efforts years ago, they put up a sign that said Historic Waldoboro Village, but it doesn't really tell you, like, there's things to do or things to say. It's not very clear, and those were put up years ago, and you get so used to them, you drive by them without ever seeing them again. So I think in a lot of ways, our Facebook posts and other posts are really trying to attract the locals to use these scenic areas and to recreate and to realize that they're there for a picnic or something. And again, through Facebook, maybe we need to put something in the newspaper too. Not everybody reads Facebook.
Yeah, like Free Press and Lincoln County or something, a little something about that.
Maybe I could take an excerpt of what you do and put it together for a press release.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Then I don't have to work too hard at it.
Yeah, well, you know, on the general subject of pocket parks, there are a lot of nice little spots. There's besides the Pine Street Landing, there's the rest area, you know, and just trying to make them more attractive. I mean, what else can we do from the garden club
With Dutch Neck, we
standpoint?
put the picnic tables there. I think that was a wonderful thing to do as far as letting people use it to recreate.
Make it look nicer and make it more useful.
Maybe that's something what I should do as a press release is excerpts or some section of our little flyer. You know, take not the whole flyer, but do maybe each week put one section of that flyer in the paper. We've done things many years, 100 things to do in Waldoboro, and we went crazy with that. We had it online as part of the website. We had it at the Waldoboro Business Association, and we had all these people. We had 100 things to do in Waldoboro, and then one of our people for the WBA was trying to relate it to all the businesses. So the 100 things to do had to include every business that was part of our business association. That got out of hand. And then, so everything was like overdone. It was just overdone. It was, we need to simplify that idea.
Yeah.
And instead of 100 things to do in Waldoboro, we can talk about just
20.
Or we'll talk about the gems of Waldoboro or something like. So there's no number to it. And you can add things and subtract. You know, add things and revisit things.
We could also kind of pander to the summer crowd and do like a sort of amusing, like top 5 places to eat a lobster roll in Waldoboro, and you could do like the different parks with a nice picture, you know. Top 5 ways for takeout. To enjoy your takeout. Something like
any place there's a picnic table.
Things like that. I think that would probably, and that's the attention span. You got to keep it to like 5 things or less, or one quick thing. You know, people are reading 3 or 4 sentences. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, keeping it simple. But I think putting it in the press, the free press, I think that would be an addition, at least for the summertime too. Because now even a lot of local people are saying, well, what can we do? And all last year during the whole pandemic, my girlfriend and I have a folding bistro table and chairs. We took them to Bradford Point Road. We took them to the Deborah's Got a Fish Ladder in September when nobody was there. We set up our bistro table and chairs, and people think we own it. Everybody that was coming through there to walk their dog or something was, oh, is this okay if we're here? Because nobody else brings furniture, you know? So we would bring our furniture, and I think maybe a few pictures of that, but I wasn't always going to Waldeboro places.
Yeah.
But a few pictures like that would get some attention.
Yeah. I'll get some like content posts kind of drummed up and email them over,
Okay.
but it will probably be towards the
No.
end of next week.
Well, that's
Probably
okay.
won't be right
The
now.
tourist season is open until September.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically now to Labor Day.
And plus, we're trying to encourage locals, and even September, October is beautiful weather for
Beekeeping season,
for going
which will be a
places.
whole nother round of some great ideas we can do.
So yeah, so keep those thoughts going. I think that's great. And I'll put some stuff together and I'll let you know what I'm thinking, and we'll put it together for Facebook and for the newspaper.
A little more gardening here and we can make this one of the best places to eat a lobster.
And there's a picnic table.
And there's a picnic
Picnic
table.
table, yeah.
Whatever happened with the children's garden here?
Well,
Has that turned into anything, or?
yeah, it basically became storage.
That's how much I'm paying attention.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, it basically became storage for a very small number of the 500 perennials that the garden club has in its plant bank. But you know, it's actually, they actually both look pretty nice. You know,
Mhm.
the one is still basically overrun with the strawberries that were planted in it when it was the children's garden, but there are 3 Montauk daisies in that
Oh, how
in a
pretty.
row. And then the other has, the storage ended up being like 4 or 5 silver mounds across the front facing the road, and then behind that a whole bunch of the Cheyenne series echinaceas, which are, you know, various shades of orange and red and gold, and instead of just the standard purple.
Purple. Mhm.
And then behind that there's stuff that's nice to have there, but you can't really see it.
That's a nice shaded area too, where the picnic table is. Maybe we could stage a picnic there.
Yeah.
And say, even sitting in front of the town hall is a wonderful little picnic
Put
vacation.
a red gingham
Good,
tablecloth
good.
down on it,
That'll-
like
that'll help you
diagonal
light a
for
fire
picnic.
under Katie to work more on the surface.
I've got a whole slew of red gingham tablecloths. I bought it for the River Festival for the Medowick Valley Land Trust one year. I got 500 yards of red checked tablecloths.
You could open an Italian restaurant. All right.
We cut them into various lengths for that purpose, but I still have many, many left.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll stage a picnic with some friends and
There you go.
get some pictures for us.
Yeah, good. All right.
I think that's a positive turn for the.
Sure. And there's plenty of parking.
That's true. There's plenty of parking here. And you could get takeout at the Roadhouse or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the roadside eats.
All right, well, I didn't have anything else of major importance to discuss. As I didn't even plan an agenda.
For the rest area, I know I said it in an email, but I'll say it out loud. Hopefully the recording will pick me up. After speaking with Advin Simmons, I'm trying to apply for an outdoor heritage grant so we can get a, kind of like what you were talking about last meeting, Steve, a more official sort of fishing thing in the
Yeah.
rest area. It's gonna be more for a boat launch so people can go up the river, which.
Yeah, you were talking about a float, like a kayak launch?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I ran into a woman who was born in Waldeboro but moved away when she was 5, but I guess she has a sister that works at Moody's. Her name is Casey, and I can't remember the last name quite correctly, but and she was there with her kayak getting ready to launch to go down and kind of to the fish ladder and then come back, and she was she
And
was
the
out there,
Land Trust-
and I ran that by her, you know, a float over there, and she said, "Wow, what a great idea!" So
Yeah, the Land Trust used to have an annual, and it was usually around my birthday, June 30th, an annual kayaking trip where we'd all get together and we just pulled our kayaks in where that slopes down behind the little fence there. And it usually was like 8 of us, 6 to 8 kayaks. And we just go up the river as far as we could, and then we just have lunch on the rocks, sitting on the rocks. then come back down again. It was a simple little paddle, but we did it in, late May, early June when the water was high.
I wonder if there's like a person who owns, because if you follow it up, it probably goes all the way up the Quarry Hill. There's probably a way to integrate that somehow in a long-term plan.
Yeah, we kayaked down the Madomic from Route 17, Old Augusta Road, Route 17 area. We had a friend who had a house there, and we kayaked all the way to Winslow's Mill, all the way to just before the bridge, cross street, and just all the way down to that area. And then it got a little rugged. We pulled out. There were a couple other places where they were rugged. There were a couple places where you had to pull out and carry it over. But I wouldn't recommend it for the faint of heart.
Wouldn't hurt.
I was a lot younger when I did it. I wouldn't do it now. It was shallow, so it wasn't that treacherous or anything. And as long as the water's not rushing, there are a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of rocks, and you don't know sometimes if there's a tree down or something. It's good to scout it out ahead of time.
So in the same spot you're talking about clearing and where that shed is where you're talking about putting a launch in?
No, the rest area.
At the rest area itself.
The rest area
like where the
going up the
Hannaford
river.
parking rest area is?
Yes.
So there's the Elm Street Jefferson intersection, and then like on the at the end of Elm Street, across the river, near the Hannaford is the rest area. That's where the launch would be.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that rest area have a formal name, or is it just
I
rest
think
area?
it's just the rest area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could make,
Well,
It needs a
I've
better
been referring
name.
to it as the Waldoboro Riverside Rest Area, but I don't know, to distinguish it from the Waldoboro River Park.
Well, it's the Waldoboro Village River Park.
And who?
Waldoboro
Well,
Village.
Oh yeah, right. And if we come up with a good name, who gives us permission to change it?
Select board, I think.
Okay.
And then like the Conservation Commission did before, get sign made.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
One of
go.
those hanging signs.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
that sounds nice.
Well, let's think about a better name.
Okay. Yeah, have you
could have
been to
Madonna.
the rest area recently, or?
Not recent. I've driven by it, when I go grocery shopping, but I haven't pulled in and taken a walk around.
Well, you should check out the new,
Gardens.
the Forsythia that was there that was
Yeah.
all overgrown for years. Well, that's been tamed, and around the base of it, where all the little saplings were from the branches of the original shrub kind of dipping over and rooting into the ground, there's now a perennial bed.
I did see that.
2/3 of the way around.
Yeah,
so.
it was in the works when we were down there cleaning up. You
And,
had tulips in it, right?
and those little Forsythia babies are all potted up, and there are 150 of them. So,
You've been busy, Steve.
oh yeah, just a little. So I emailed Julie a couple of weeks ago, telling her how many we had, and where she wanted the Forsythia hedge to go. I think she thought I was joking, but I don't think she thinks I'm joking anymore.
I'd like to try to grow some eastern hemlock saplings from the pine. Didn't you try to collect some?
I did get some
Get some-
cones, yeah.
I'd like to get some of those going. So how fun would it be to give some of those away for Arbor Day next year
Yeah.
as an educational piece?
That would be interesting.
Not that I need to keep throwing new ideas because we have to hone in on what we've got, but
Yes.
It's good to have them in the ideas in the bank, no matter how.
Yeah.
And at every posting you could do, you could add a line of, we take care of the parks in the area or something to that. Join us.
yeah,
Come join us. Be part of this.
yeah,
Sort of a reaching out for more members every time you post.
yeah. It would be nice to maybe do it every so many, but it's just like the signs you say downtown. You don't even pay attention to them anymore because you see it so
See it all
often.
the time. That's
So
true.
you want to keep the information kind of fresh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I almost every time I post for the garden club, I say, we could be doing a lot more if some of you guys out there would help us out.
Yeah, a little call to action.
And
Yeah.
I think they're getting.
I could be
people are
doing
getting
some more
tired of
call to
hearing that.
actions.
And maybe fitting it in where it's more appropriate.
Yeah.
So it's not always at the end of it, it's somewhere in between,
Mhm.
kind of where they're going to be reading anyway. They could won't skip over it as easily. Possibly.
So the only other thing I have, if you don't mind me just
Nope.
being me, the minutes.
Oh, yeah, we have to vote on the minutes.
My name needs to be corrected. That's all I see.
In which one?
Both of them.
May
You keep
and
trying to make me an Italian and I'm Norwegian, Max. It's Lorenzen, not Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
Oh,
Am I putting that in the minutes that I'm making your name Norwegian rather than Italian?
No, because it says Leslie Lorenzo. I'm like, I'm not Italian.
I don't know why I even had the name like that then.
But other than that, so the May minutes, I guess we could vote on both of them at once. I've read the May minutes and the June minutes, and I find nothing wrong with them. So I make a motion that we accept the May and the June minutes with the correction of Leslie's name.
Yes.
second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, that's all the formal stuff we gotta do.
Oh, the only other thing, this isn't formal, but it has, Julie was trying to get something going on setting up, speaking of the children's garden, a U shape of box beds out in front of the town sign. Has anybody?
I don't know anything about that.
Nobody, okay, I was wondering if
I'll
the
check that.
select board was talking about pocket parks, and I was wondering if that had come up.
No.
Okay, well, I'll have to poke. I'll have to see the select board members
And chat with them about such a
and
thing.
poke them up about that.
Okay, well, that does it for me. Anything else
I'm
that anybody can think of?
I'm just gonna focus on the poison ivy signage and that pocket park on Elm. I'll look into that,
That'd be great.
figure out, check the structure out,
Mhm.
see what can clear off. And
Let me know when you've got a day or a time that you're gonna be doing something over there, and I'll be there.
Yep.
I'll have my tools.
Mhm. We'll look around together.
Yep.
That'd be great. And then you're gonna follow up with the blueberry thing and,
I'm gonna make some arrows for the town forest trail and work on some drafted up social media content so you can do a press release with it too.
and maybe I can come up with a sign that says blueberry picking on this side only. Because it's kind of like right and left. Where that driveway is, it's
Yeah.
just really on the left.
Yeah. If
So if I
anyone,
put the sign here, I'd say blueberry picking on this side only.
yeah, if you could get a sign up there, that would certainly bring me a little peace of mind.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
That'd be
I'll
awesome.
do
Karen.
something.
Thank you.
and then we really gotta look into like burning that next year or something. It's getting
Overgrown.
scrubby,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, when you don't do something about it, all the weeds start to take over.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk to the fire chief about that?
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I'll ask them if they can include that in some kind of training.
Yeah,
No promises, but
and they
figure
might be.
something.
'Cause even Dad, like,
And they do it in the fall anyway, so
yeah.
this would be a good time to ask them about it.
Okay.
I'll send an email that has you and the fire chief in the same one, just to kick you in the right direction, just to kick it.
Yeah, bring up the
Sure.
point. Yeah,
That'd
bring
be
up
good.
that point. Because that would help the blueberries a lot if we burn one.
yeah, they might be interested in.
And they could pick out the section they want to do and do a section different years.
It would just be not. There's just so much potential up in that area that if we could start honing in on the different projects of that, I think it could be a nice little gathering center.
And I'll try to get some pictures of people picking blueberries and people having picnics in different places.
Yeah, it helps. It really helps. Like when that turtle was in the road the other day, and I stopped. I'm like, yes, social media. I was helping the turtle, but also it's like, yes, something. I got something.
Good thinking.
Well, yeah, I saw the pickerel flower in the shallows, but at the rest area there, and I was
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm bummed. I was watching one day in May. I was down at the boat launch, and there were osprey diving down and getting fish. It was incredible to watch in person, but a video just doesn't even do it. It's like dots, deep, deep.
I know.
So I'm like,
You don't really see it that close.
something
Yeah, I
so much
tried.
better. It was just incredible to be sitting down there, like hanging out. Period. But like to be eating dinner down there and watching that happen. Just
yeah,
gorgeous
it's
spot.
like the seals up towards the bridge.
Yeah.
On West Main. I mean, there are times of the year when they're you can see half a dozen in there, but they're like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so a picture just looks like the black blob.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It doesn't look like much. Okay, I think we can adjourn this meeting then. Thank you very much.